realized I was totally not ready here. But the start be like, hey, good morning, everyone, when it occurred to me, my microphone is on the table. Sorry. Oh my goodness. This is what happens when, again, I tried to do this in the morning. Hold on. Yeah, I totally forgot I had this microphone. Alright, let me grab something off the side here before I make a further mess of myself, because I think I'm already off to a fantastic start here. Okay. Alright, let's try this again. Okay, hey everyone, good morning. It's me, Lauren, from Stampin' Up! And Colored Kitty. I am here in the morning versus the evening to try to kind of get the day started pretty good. Today's theme for Stampin' Up! Is like a watercolor Christmas theme. Because I kept saying I was going to do a Christmas theme, and finally I decided I'm going to do watercolor. Because it's actually watercolor month in Stampin' Up! World, which is pretty cool. So we're going to go forward and do this. So let's progress through. Here's the list of events and dates and stuffs to keep in mind. Let's see. Currently, Celebration is on, and I actually have something from Celebration to show you for today. Is their designer series paper, the Rings of Love. That's what I was just pulling up a few minutes ago. Let's get started here. Celebration is when you spend $60, you can get a free item, and one of the free items is what I have right here. I'm looking forward to showing you. And there's also items in the $120 category. Or if you spend $120, you can get 2 free items based on the $60 tier value. Any questions about Celebration, let me know. I can try to explain it a lot better. There's a PDF pamphlet online if you want to check it out for looking at it a little further. There's some great items. And this sale only happens twice a year. So this is a really nice promo. Alright, July 26th will be my free social crafting session on Zoom at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Totally free event. Just hang out, do some crafting, say hello, try to do a bit of social, and then that's it. It's pretty easy going, as I tried to be. At the end of July, which will be probably early August, I'll be doing my bingo game, which is, I've got a bunch of people already into it already. It's a free little thing that I do. Someone will get a little prize from me. And it's just a way of a little fun interactive thing of you can either catch the replay or catch it live. Probably replay because I tend to be slightly inconsistent with my scheduling. But that's okay. It's something I do that to kind of show a little bit of product picture info in between some of the numbers. And it's just a little fun thing to do because I actually like bingo. The Stampin' Club that I have is anyone who places an order in July over $50 value is entered into a draw for a prize. And then there's the Mini Stampin' Crew, which is a similar version for orders under 50. I know it's kind of weird. I did it this way because I do have a bunch of people who make small orders, and I still want to reward them with some sort of a loyalty program because they've been consistently every month purchasing, say, a Paper Pumpkin box, and I still wanted to give them a chance to potentially win something. But anyway, over time, I'll probably craft this program a little better. It's just something I'm running for a little while to see what happens. And then August 10th is the new Paper Pumpkin deadline for the Sweet Sunflowers, which I realize I totally typoed, but that's okay, because I didn't put a space between Sweet and Sunflowers. This is what happens when I'm rushing this morning. And as usual, July and ongoing, I'm available for party hosting at dates or an unparty, or if you're just looking to make an order of $200 or more, you can make your own order. All depends on what you want to get into for if there's any perk interest into Stampin' Up. And usually Thursdays, I'm on here first, on my Facebook group, Playing with Papers and Colors-SU. I used to do it in the evening. Lately, I've been doing it in the morning, which is a complicated story as to why, but that's okay. And then at some point in the day, I'll hop over to my Facebook page, Color the Kitty, and then the 2 videos of these are replayed over on my YouTube channel, Color the Kitty. So that's kind of like my summary this week. The new Paper Pumpkin promo. Look at this. It's sweet sunflowers, and it comes with a free gift, and it's pointing to the free gift. If you want to know more of what that is, give me a shout. Hosting. Actually, I have a host thing to show you as well. Let me grab that too. I'm not going to fully open it today because I just got it yesterday, but just to kind of give you an idea of what hosting gets you with Stampin' Up. So hosting gets you the ability to purchase host exclusive items only, and I have one here actually. In this case, it's Designer Series paper, and it's pretty cool. And to be able to get to that tier is a workshop party orders has to be at least $200 to be able to unlock the ability to buy a host exclusive only item. So that's kind of how that works. So that could be one order of $200. It could be multiple orders accumulating to $200 depending on the sequence and how things go. But that's how that works. For joining, there's let me pull out again the join promo for this month. I am on a roll here. Okay. That's a good thing I have all these items within easy reach in my room here. Okay. The promotion for joining right now, July through August, is actually, it's the usual. You join, you buy the starter kit of the budget of $135. You can use that budget to buy more or less almost anything you want off the website and create your own starter kit. But what they're throwing in as a bonus this month is a making plans planner, which it's occurred to me I don't even have all the pieces handy here, but let me grab some of it so you get the idea what I'm talking about. Okay, I've got some of the pieces here now. Again, relatively easy reach in the room. So the planner is added in free as part of the join promo, which is really cool actually. Alright, so here we go. Here's a whole bunch of stuffs on my table, and I need more lighting now. Okay, so the join promo is this planner. It's not a full sheet of paper. I was actually disappointed, but that's okay. But this beautiful, beautiful, I've only got a couple sheets in here just to kind of represent the year, and I'm not sure what I'm doing it with it yet. And why I have this is I was able to pre-order last month, so I did. And this is pretty cool. Like, this is beautiful. And it's got really nice material. So a planner with all the pages for entire year. That's July next year. So let's go to July currently, which I will tell you is blank because I have a different calendar I've been using for my dates and stuff. But this is beautiful. Like, this is really nice. And it's got even more pages I've got in a box somewhere because I'm like, I'm not going to fill this whole thing up yet. But this is pretty cool. Even just this alone. Free if you join. And with it is a stamp set. Free, combined, free this month. And then with this including is 3 notebooks. Free this month. So that's kind of the gist of the Making Plans planner that is available right now on offer. If it perks your interest, if you're looking for a reason to join, but you've been back and forth, and if you really like notebooks and planners and more stamps. Alright, I'm just going to put some of this stuff back away because I don't need it right now. We've shown it. Now, next on my pile of mess on my desk here is this, which is upside down. So part of the hosting is there's host exclusive items. This is one of them. Actually, let me flip this over because this might get a little distracting here. So the host exclusive item that they have quite a few. This is one of them. This is from the new mini catalog. Is to Celebrate Everything Designer Series paper, 12 by 12, 12 by 12, which is cool. And it's even got telling me on here the coordinating colors. But what I'll do is I'm going to open this up another week, or if you really, really, really want to see it, give me a shout. But as you can see, look at how much paper is in there. And this is an example of one of the sheets. And this is like seasonally all year round. So to get this, have a qualifying host code party of $200 in sales or more, and you can buy this with your rewards. That is how you can buy this. And this is like somewhere around 25 bucks or something. It's actually really reasonable. This is really nice. There's another one on the list I want to get my hands on as well that is beautiful. All right, I'm gonna open that a different day because I'm not ready to scatter papers all over. Now, speaking of Desire Series paper, here's the Celebration one, which you can tell is a lot thinner than the last one. This is the Celebration paper, the Rings of Love, and it's even telling me coordinating colors, 12 by 12. And here's this one. So this one I'm actually gonna open up today to at least show you. Now, I don't want to open it entirely. I want a partial open so I can kind of put it back away into a box, because I am not fully ready to craft with this yet, but it is still really, really nice. Let me see if I can pull it out, some of it, because it is what it is. Come on. Once I learn how to do that. Alright, we'll do a partial pull out. So we've got this beautiful paper. Oh my god, this is really nice. Acorns! My squirrels will love it. Like, isn't this really pretty? And this is available free with birds with a $60 purchase. Ooh, that's nice. $60 purchase or more just this month. Houses. Oh, that's nice. Oh, this is really nice. Oh, wow. Ooh, that's cool too. This is really impressive. Trees. And there we go. So that is the DSP in Celebration right now. One of a few. And this is beautiful. Oh my. So, if you want one, let's have a conversation. Alright. So, let's actually get crafting here. And then let me see if I got all the materials I need, which I don't. Because again, my lack of planning, as per usual. Alright, we're going to need a couple sheets here. A white. Because we're going to... Oh, and I forgot something else too. Shoot. Okay, we're going to improvise. I think I should be able to wing it from the desk over here. I forgot to give myself a cup of water for the watercolor technique. And I'm like, oh, wait. And I'm tied to a microphone right now. Okay, so I've got my white paper. I wanted white because I'm just in the white mood. And then I'm going to get my paper trimmer out here. And first things first, I got 2 sheets here. I'm just going to cut this one in half. So half of 11 inches, if you know your math, is 5.5 inches. Like so. So now I've got technically 2 card bases, but I only need 1. But I need this to be cut down. So this is what size? 5.5. Alright. So 8.5 of 8.5 is 4.25, but I just want 4 inches because I want to actually know. I want to go a little smaller, a ½ inch less. So let's do 3.75. And then that will these 2, I'm good now. We'll go off to my pile. So that then from 5.5, I want just 5 inches. There we go. And then, because of course I can't seem to oh, I'm a disaster today. I tend to keep the strip because it is so useful later on. And I actually have like a Ziploc bag just full of pieces like that. And I'm just trying to stick it in the bag, which is not cooperating. Okay, so I think that's really all the cutting what we're doing. Alright. And then, so I've got this piece, and I've got this piece, and I'm going to fold this in half already. So I can kind of check to see, do I like the sizing? And then just grab a bone folder and just kind of do this. Alright. So just as, I know it's a lot of white on white, but it'll work, I swear. I hope. So I'm kind of going for that, which is really hard to see, but we're going to add some color. We're going to have some fun here. Okay, or at least I am. Now, to be fair, with the new mini catalog, I don't really have much for Christmas, but I'm going to do a throwback here. This is last year, Peaceful Cabin. I kept calling it Peaceful Place. Peaceful Cabin, which is really, really beautiful. So what I want is that cabin picture on a stamp, as a stamp on a block, if I can get this to cooperate. These are red clings, and I will admit they're a little fussy to pull off the packaging here. Come on. Come on. Kind of have to work with them a bit. And I'm hoping I can just use one block. These are like the paper pumpkin blocks, so it's kind of like my go-to. So what I'm kind of going for is a winter scene. And I know I got my light kind of in the way there. A winter scene. I'm going to add some trees, and we're going to creatively work around this. And I'm just trying to frame this a bit. And then we're going to add some watercolor background. And that's kind of like my theme today. So it might work, it might not, but we'll see. Alright, so we're going to go with that. Now I want the cottage. I'm going to use a brown because that's what I had out and available. Let's go for it. And then just ink it up really nicely, hopefully. I even have dyes for these as well, but I was trying to go more simple, where the intention today is Christmas in watercolor. So yeah, give this a good generous amount of ink. I think it's got a nice chunk of ink on there. And then, like how I was just doing a few minutes ago, I want to go a little more to the left, to symbolic that's not centered on purpose. And let's see how that looks. Oh, that's pretty beautiful, eh? And then I got a sponge up here, so I'm just going to clean that stamp so I can put it back into storage. That is beautiful, eh? Even though my arm is totally in the way. That's really nice. Okay, so then I'm just going to peel this and put it back in my case here. But I feel like it needs some trees, if you can agree with me. And we've got some trees. I got a couple stamps here. Oh, I'm going to need a big block, actually. Ooh. I do have a big block. Not the right version, but because I want the 2 trees. So I'm just going to pull this out. And what sentiments do I have in here? Because I might want a sentiment. Or I might want to add one later. I don't know. Or I might add a different sentiment. What do we got here? Thank you for you. Wishing you the best. And may you enjoy the peace of this beautiful season. It's not doing me so much. Oh, and there's one more down there. What's it say? Your kindness makes the world a more beautiful place to be. Okay. Not feeling it. Alright, bear with me a moment. I'm going to grab my big block, because this is actually a bigger stand. I could actually cut this if I really, really wanted to, but I don't. I want to keep it intact. Okay, so I'm going to need that. I only really want the 2 trees, because I'm going to put the 2 trees like over here. Kind of. But I am going to put a bit of paper on there to keep. Hey Peg, yeah, it's definitely a sleepy morning. Alright, so I'm trying out these red clings for the first time. These are from like last year's Christmas, but I like to do a throwback to older materials because they're still really useful. They're still really awesome. Alright. So I've got that. So this, I have to kind of put this on top of the other so I can kind of make the seal. I gotta bring it closer to me so I can see what the heck I'm doing here. So kind of like that. And this creates an adhesive way of putting this onto that, is what this is doing. And I know my lamps are totally everywhere here. Alright, so I think then what's going to happen is this is going to peel back. And voila, I have a label on the other side of this. So then when I go put the stamp on here, when I go to stamp, I can actually see my image. So that's the beauty of that. Alright, so then I'm going to take a moment and kind of check to see where I'm going here. I want to cover a little bit of that. Or not. I don't know. I'm back and forth. I'll just kind of go off to here. It'll work. Alright. So for this, I'm going to use, because I had this color out, this Evening Evergreen color. Ink it nicely. I'm not going to use all of it on the one tree, but a good portion. And then from there, just kind of stamp on there. And ta-da! There's some trees happening, which it's a little cut off, but I can work with that. Yeah, last year, this stamp set was really beautiful. And it actually coincided with one of the Paper Pumpkin kits. And I'm like, I had to get it because this is beautiful. There's actually a new one this year. It's got like almost like a Christmas barn. I'm like, I actually want it. It's on my wish list. Alright, so I'm going to put that stamp now off to the side. So what I do is after I hear that label on there, they just get stuck to the back of this case. That way when the case is closed, I can see what stamps are in there, which is cool. Alright, so I think we're good for stamping for now, or at least with those ones. We may come back to it in a short, but we'll see. Alright, we're going to get onto the watercolor idea. Now, here's the fun part. This might work, or this might not. So I've got part of an image here. And then what I want to do is find my watercolor pencils, which are here somewhere. So I've got other these are not watercolor, by the way. These are like from a different project I got on the go. Which I can show you what it is once I figure out where did I put my pencils. I have them here at the side. It's just they're kind of buried. And why is it watercolor month in the world of Stampin' Up? Because Stampin' Up has watercolor pencils. Now I should have a batch in here already in use. I think these are like my spares actually. Okay. So I want some colors. I'm just trying to think, what colors do I want? And I feel like I've got more. Okay, I do want a bit of a gray. So I'm in a gray mood. So I'm trying to do like a snow feel, but I feel like using gray, even though it's going to be really dark. But I can use gray and green together. So there's two. So the gray is a basic gray, obviously. The green, I think it's a garden green. Just thinking for a sec. Of course, why I keep the boxes is it tells me what the colors are. So my only choices of green is garden green or granny apple green or old olive. So yeah, we'll go garden green. And then for the sky, I guess a balmy blue might work. Yeah, where's my balmy blue? There it is. These are actually Stampin' Up pencils. And I've got more other colors and other stuff to fill out my collection because I like to have more and more colors. Alright, I'm just going to zip this up before I accidentally put this on the floor and my dog decides to eat it or something. Alright, so no real supervision here. I just was going to put in some color on the top and the bottom and then watercolor it. And it's occurred to me, I don't even have my paintbrushes out. Wow. I'm looking for paintbrushes. I got water spritzers. Not water spritzers. Oh, moment as I figure out where my stuff is. I must have put them away. That's why I'm like, where did they go? Or I stuck them in a box. Oh, this is what happens when I totally start this unprepared. Okay, we're gonna wing it. Just trying to see where I can spot an easy paintbrush. Come on, where are you? We can use the spritzers. Not spritzers, the water brushes. Oh, it wasn't what I was going to use, but that's okay. I've got these. Stampin' Up! Actually has a bunch of these as well, but these are the other ones. And I'm just checking. There is still water in these. And that's my partner texting me because I had a question for him this morning. Okay, we got these. So we'll just kind of work around it. And I also need a paper towel to try to clean the tips. And then what I forgot earlier in my prep was water. So let me get that now. I've got a paint cup I use regularly. I actually have water here from last night from Kendo. So there's my trick for water today. Okay, so now we're kind of getting there. And eventually I gotta figure out where I put those paintbrushes. I had some cheap ones out that I was gonna use, and they're hidden on me. Actually, them later anyway. Okay, let's actually get started here. And actually, before I really get sidetracked, I'm gonna finish the back of the card with my usual. The color of the kitty, the Stampin' Up! Stuff. I'm gonna go with the brown, because I'm in a brown mood. I'm leaving the best for last here. Which hopefully will be good. Okay, there's the cat. And then the angel policy. Like, I've got so many things on the desk here. Because I've got a couple other projects on the go. Hence, these are for something else. And last month, I signed up for a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator only event. And I'm still slowly working through those projects. Life just keeps busy. Yeah, I gotta figure out where I put those paintbrushes. I got more paintbrushes. I just have to pull them out. But they're under the desk in a cubby. And I've got like a laundry basket in the way. That shows my chaos. So then as my usual, Stampin' Up! Name in the corner. And then clean that brush. Okay. So now that can dry while we do some watercolor. I know I keep saying we're going to watercolor and I keep delaying here. Oh, typically me. Okay. Oh, what have I got now? Everybody keeps pinging me now. Okay, so first things first. I like to have a really sharp point for my watercolor pencils. So seriously, nothing fancy. I'm just gonna loosely put some blue on there. I want it pretty light. I know it doesn't look like much. It looks almost like a hot mess, but it might work. And then of course near the top I want a little more concentration of blue. Now I haven't done watercolor in a while, so this might not actually work. But I figured start with the sky, and then I've got three. These are from a different company, but Stampin' Up! Does actually have these. I'm going to use the biggest tip because I feel like it. And then I'm just gonna make sure there's moisture on there. I can always squeeze. Now I'm just gonna use over here. And just essentially like that. It's actually looking pretty good. It's kind of what I was going for. Just a really loose and seriously nothing fancy. Just to kind of give some color as a background. Now if I really want to, I could try to work in some more blue, but no, that's kind of what I was going for. And then because I've got this out, the water is, I like to extra clean the tip, even though these are wet anyway, just on a paper towel. Give it a quick extra wipe. So there's that. And then we're going to do the same with the bottom, with the green and gray, which is going to kind of be weird, but I'm going to work with it. And then what I might do, actually, I'm going to add some white. Thinking about it now. Because snow generally is lighter. And if I don't add white, it might look even worse. So let's get the white and then see what we can come up with for a color. Alright. So let's get everything sharpened up here. So that way we're good to go. And this is just a regular sharpener, if you really want to know. It's actually a Prismacolor sharpener. It's got two holes for depending on the type of sharpener you're going for. I won't explain too much. And actually, this sharpener I've had for years. It's totally broken. And the blades, I actually keep changing them out. I found from another sharpener the same blades, and I change them out. Alright, so there's that. Now the intention is I want a bit of green, a tiny bit of gray, and white. So let's kind of get the green foundation in there. Because I can always layer. Let's get a very tiny bit of white. Not white, gray, I mean. Like, there is not much there. With the gray. And then a bunch of white. Now, if you can tell, I'm actually holding it away versus like holding it. Changing how the tip hits the paper makes a huge difference. So there's some color, and then we're just going to roll with it. So again, I'm going to grab that same larger tip one. Make sure I've got some moisture. Give it a bit of a squeeze. Helps to do it from away from the paper. And then have at it. That way, we've got a very light snowy, greeny. Not really snowy, but I wanted it to be really light. And there we go. There is our sheet, which is very interesting. And then, like I said, I'm just going to dip that in water. I'm not drinking that now, even though it came from my drinking water. And clean it a little. Make sure I don't have too much pigment on there. Of course, I'm getting pinged again. Oh, it's my other reminder. Because it's 9 a.m. Okay. So there is our watercolor thing. I know it's kind of hard to tell. And then the next step is, once it dry, I'd say let it dry out. Adhere it onto here. And then there is actually a really neat little project where it's simple, basic. It doesn't take much skill at all. Just takes kind of having some materials. And then there we go. I'd rather let it dry out before I start adhering it. That way, if it's going to curl or whatever, it's going to curl. So there is our project. And then, because my mother is all about the inside has to be a certain theme, I'm going to do the inside. So what I need to do is, I'm going to do a little more stamping, since I'm already well into timing here. let's let that dry first. Let me get another piece of paper going. Let me find another piece of paper. Paper, paper, where are you? Let's bring back the trimmer. So if you remember, the card base was 5.5 by 4.25. So what I want to do once I open that up is 5.25. No, this side's 5.25. Oh my. Okay. By 4. Can never have too much white paper kicked around, I swear. Alright, and then check if my sizing's right. Yep, it will fit inside. Just can't really tell right now, but it will. Okay. Now I need some stamps. I had one on the table here for the longest time, actually. That I've been meaning to put away. That's not it. That is not it. It was here. Of course, it's probably the one I need, too. Alright, this is it. Because I have a box just for Christmas. So now I gotta quickly find Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Welcome to my 31 box of stuffs. What we got here? Merry Christmas. A little big though. Because I did at some point have, I got a whole bunch of dies, I got a whole bunch of stuff. I'm just seeing if I have a Stampin' Up version of what I'm looking for. Because it's been so long since I've looked at this. Ooh. I've got French. Yeah, because I might not have the exact one I'm looking for. Because I've got a mixed bag of things in here. Okay. So let's start basic here. Because I might have something. And this is what happens when I don't plan. Alright, let me see what these are. And there's an email. Okay, there's Merry Christmas again. Because she was very particular on it must be Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I might not have it here today. I mean, I might have it somewhere. It's just not jumping out at me. Okay. That's okay. Oh, I did. Maybe I do. Huh. Alright, well, let's work what we got here. Actually, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. There we go. That might work. I'll be fair, it's not Stampin' Up, but sometimes you gotta substitute for what you're looking for. So, sorry about that, everybody. Alright, I need a stamp, but I will go with that. Okay, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, my friend. Okay. So again, more photopolymers. And yeah, see, my sheet is curling. A trick is supposed to wet it both sides, but I didn't do that. But that's okay. I'm learning. Okay, so we'll do the green. And then actually, I don't know, I've used it, but I'm not sure if I've seasoned it well. Because actually, this is like a different company. This one. And I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of these ones. It's just, at the time, years ago, I need a whole bunch of Christmas content. So I went with these. And then the idea is, because it's such a... Of course, I have it crooked on here. I'm just going to roll with it. It's a little crooked, but worst case, if it's really crooked, flip it over and do it again. Because that is really crooked. Now, if I had a Stamparatus, this would be a heck of a lot easier. Alright. So I ball it a little better. Let's see if that'll work. It's a little rough, but it's straighter. Okay, so then I'm going to clean that. And then now we're going to need some adhesive. And then because that page is curling, I'm going to try, the other page is curling, I'm going to try something. Un moment. Yeah, I think I did have Happy New Year somewhere else, but I'll have to dig through my collection again and see what I got kicking around. It might be stuck in something else. Okay, so first things first. But as you can tell, the quality is different, but that's okay. I'm going to take some adhesive, open this up. Why I'm doing white on white is it thickens up the card base a little better. And it kind of just gives a panel. That way, worst case, if you really want to change out the panel, you can. If for some reason I did it, and I wrote in it, and I wrote like the wrong name or phrase, you know, even though you know someone's name, sometimes it just doesn't click in your head, and you're trying to write it, and it comes up as like some gibberishy name or something. That's why. Okay, so now we're ready to seal this, because it's feeling much more drier. Hopefully I can get it to stick. I'm just trying to think how I want to seal it, because I'm just going for plain today. Like, this is really nice. It's really pleasant. We're just gonna use the adhesive. Let's just go for it. And then I'm gonna try to really get close to the edges here. And then while I'm at it, I am going to try to seal the edges even more, so that way hopefully this will really stick. And this is actually a really good sticky adhesive. This is the Stampin' Up! Plus. It's got more strength than the regular Stampin' Seal, I mean. And it's actually my go-to. So I've got essentially a border all the way around. And then make sure I got my correct orientation, because that does happen. There's also liquid glue if you really need more sticky. But I find with this, once you get it down, you're stuck with it. And actually that worked really well. That got nicely down. It might curl a little. But there we go. There is our Christmas project for today. And that's actually really nice. I'm more for the simple when it comes to this stuff. This is really nice. So hopefully my mother likes it, because she really wanted a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year inside of it. So it's got that. This is really nice. And all it took was paper, stamps, ink, pencils, some sort of paintbrush, water, and adhesive, I think. Oh, and the blocks, yeah. I think that's what it took. So, there we go. Anyway, so thanks for watching, everyone. This took a heck of a lot longer than even I intended. I had some other things I had to do this morning, but I decided, you know what, just let's get on with this, because I was in the Christmas mood. This was my vision I had in mind with that beautiful stamp set from last year. And certainly, I hope you enjoyed. Alrighty, any questions, give me a shout, and I'll be back next week. Next week, I really should have the new Paper Pumpkin kit. The Sending Good Thoughts. I have to think of the name of it, because even though I just looked at it today, and it's a nautical kind of... The imagery teaser is like a message in a bottle at the beach kind of thing, and I'm like, oh, I hope this is a good one, so I'm looking forward to it. Alrighty, so there. Well, thank you all, and have a good week. Bye for now.